Hey VC, it's Chad. So this is my January 2019 vinyl finds. And today I actually got a 10-inch record in the mail that I ordered this month. It is called Jeremiah Sand, and it is a 10-inch record that was featured in the movie Mandy starring Nicolas Cage. A crazy horror movie you should check out. This record is on Sandstorm Records, which is a fake label. It was actually released by Lakeshore Records, and this is like a freak folk record. The guy is the main villain in Mandy, and he sings on this record, and there's a spoken word on the back. I believe there's some metal people that are uncredited that actually did the music for this, so it's pretty cool. You can check it out on like Spotify or something, but I needed it because I love the movie. Last week I got some reissues from Sub Pop. First is Green River, Dry as a Bone. I have an original of this, but this was also released with a extra LP. So I had to pick that up. And also here we have Rehab Doll from Green River. This was on like Sub Pop Loser color, like a green, lime green. And this one also featured some alternate takes, I think demos or something. Really great. If you're a big fan of Mudhoney, of course, Mark Arm played in Green River, and one of the first grunge bands, so definitely check it out. So I'm gonna just show some of the new records I received within the last couple weeks. So here's another record that came out last Friday that I got from Amazon, and I was actually talking online to Tim, DJ High Noon, about this record. It's Science Fiction from Uncle. This was just reissued. Forget it's the anniversary, if it's either 25 or 30 anniversary of this record. Really great. DJ Shadow and James Lavelle put this electronic rock kind of stuff together. There's some guest vocals from Richard Ashcroft from The Verve and a bunch of other people that I'm blanking on right now, but really great record. Here's one I haven't really listened to yet, but it's called Songs for the Dead Live, and this is King Diamond. It's a 2 LP, and it's released on Blue Marble Wax from Metal Blade. So this is a live set from 2015, which I actually saw King Diamond about maybe twice that year, so I'm pretty familiar with the set and all the songs on here, so looking forward to checking it out. There's one I showed on YouTube or Facebook group. This is Hum Downward is Heavenward. They're a late 90s alt rock band. They had a big hit with the song Stars on their previous record. This was just reissued by the singer of the band, and it was mastered from all analog sources, so it sounds really amazing. 2 LP. He made 1,000 copies that already sold out really quickly. I think he might be repressing it, but it's a really great record. Hum. I traded in some books at a local store and got some credit, and I was able to pick up a copy of Teenage Fanclub, Bandwagon-esque, which I've been wanting, but they've been, everywhere I see them, they were priced at, $35 to $40, and all the corners were always damaged, or there was something wrong with it, so I always passed. This was a record that I had on cassette when it first came out. Of course, everybody knows the concept. I actually saw them on, I think they played on Saturday Night Live or something, that song, which was really great. And I remember them from like 120 Minutes on MTV. So I really love this record. I know it pretty well, so bandwagon-esque, from Teenage Fanclub. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, this was recently reissued as well on Hell's Headbangers Records. It's called Black Death, and it comes with an additional 7-inch, but this is billed as the first black heavy metal band. I believe they're out of Cleveland. This was from 1984. It says, recommended for maniacs of early Judas Priest, Sereth Ungol, and Thin Lizzy. Really catchy songs. The production almost seems like a live record, but I think it's a studio record. There's one LP and comes with a 7-inch. So I've actually had this on cassette, and I was waiting for them to repress it. So I was super happy to pick this up. Sounds great. Black Death, Hell's Headbangers Records. This one I was super stoked to pick up. It is the soundtrack for Superfly from Curtis Mayfield, and this is a new original master recording from Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs. This is cut at 45 on 2 LPs, and it's numbered, I believe, out of 3,000 copies. I have a really low number, so which is cool. It's kind of pricey, in the 40, I think it's around $49.99 or something. But this is one of my favorite soundtracks. I have an original, but this one sounds really good. So I do recommend, if you're a fan, to pick it up. So let's see what else we have here. All right, so let's get into some of the used stuff that I picked up recently. Here are a couple essential soundtracks that I've been looking for from the 80s. They're really hard to find or hard to come by. The first one is called The Wraith, and this was a movie that featured Charlie Sheen, and this soundtrack has Secret Loser from Ozzy Osbourne, Bonnie Tyler, Lion, pretty much a bunch of people that I'm not familiar with, but it's quintessentially 80s. This soundtrack is super 80s sounding, but it's really great, really catchy stuff. It's on Scotty Brothers. And if you see it around, definitely pick it up. The movie is definitely on like Amazon Prime or Netflix. I forget which one I've seen it on. But it's like science fiction, horror type stuff, so really great. Check it out. And here's one I actually just got last week. It is the soundtrack for Say Anything, and this one is kind of hard to find. This is on WTG Records. This is an original pressing. Features, of course, In Your Eyes from Peter Gabriel, The Replacements, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Fishbone, Living Colour, Cheap Trick, Depeche Mode. Just an amazing soundtrack. Of course, it doesn't feature Joe Lies, but it's a great soundtrack either way, and really great movie. Say Anything. Here's a cheap novelty record I found. It's called Sergeant Slaughter and Camouflage Rocks America. So this is actually the WWF wrestler Sergeant Slaughter, who was also a G.I. Joe member. I don't remember which came first, but it's really bad 80s rock music, and basically Sergeant Slaughter will you know, mutter a few words over top. The song, The Cobra Clutch, you know, his signature finishing move in wrestling. The song's great. I would check that out, but this is definitely not essential, but has a great cover, and it's super corny. So if you like Novelty records, I would pick it up. There's a classic record that I listen to a lot. I actually just picked up an upgrade, really nice copy of The Idiot from Iggy Pop. And this is on RCA. I have another copy that I got either last year or so that I'm gonna get rid of. So The Idiot. Here's a record that I showed maybe last January. I picked up in a store. It didn't have a cover. Really nice record. It's really hard to find, expensive. And recently on Discogs, I found that somebody was selling a cover. So I decided to pick it up, and I actually paid more for the cover than I did the record, but still cheaper than what you could find a used copy of both for. So and what I'm talking about here is Nirvana, the story of Simon Simopath. And this jacket is actually a promo copy. It's a mono, actually my record is a stereo, but I believe, yeah, this one is a stereo, but mine isn't a promo copy. I really like this record. I think it was Vinyl Richie that, you know, said it was really soft and like wispy, and it's a concept record, like psych pop or just really light pop music, but it's, you know, it's really catchy. So I do listen to this from time to time. So and the cover art is so amazing. So Nirvana, the original Nirvana, actually. I think this is a VC staple, and I never know how to pronounce it, but it's, I say Mandy, and this is their self-titled record on Janus Records that was released in 1972. Here is a more modern record that was released in the last few years, 2017. It's Mdou Moctar. Recently he did a live LP on Third Man, which I haven't been able to find anywhere yet, but this one is really great. He is from like Niger, the I forget what it's Tuareg or whatever music from like the Sahara Desert region, and it's not in English, and it's just really great world music. I'm actually going to see him. I believe he's playing at the Andy Warhol Museum in a few months, so that should be interesting. I've seen some live videos where he plays more electric stuff, and he's really great at, you know, some people describe him as like a Middle Eastern Jimi Hendrix or something like that. So definitely check it out, Mdou Moctar. This is his Sosami Tamachek record. This is on Say Hill Sounds. I believe they're out of like Portland, Oregon, or whatever is the record label. So a brand new store just opened up in my city last, well, basically it's only been a week. I found out about it on a Wednesday, and I went to go check out their store on a Saturday, and a friend hit me up and said, yo, you should check out the store. They got some great stuff. So I went down there, and basically nothing was priced. I don't think they were intended to open just yet, but that's definitely the best time to hit up any record store when somebody's been saving up their collection to open up a store. You find all the great stuff. So I believe I was one of the first couple to take a look. My friend got some great stuff, I think, the day before, and then we went through pretty much everything in the store, and here's some of the stuff I actually picked up from there. First thing I picked up was a reissue from 2016 or 15 of the first Ride record, Nowhere. I really dig this. You know, it's one of the most recognizable like shoegaze records out of the UK. The song Vapor Trail, I have a single 12-inch for, I believe. I always had these on CDs, and really great record. This is a really nice reissue if you can find it as well. Ride. Here is a Sonic Youth Whores Moaning record. This is on blue vinyl, and it says Oz 1993 Tour Edition, and it's got like a sugar cane. They do a cover of the New York Dolls' Personality Crisis, and there's a couple other songs on here. I think this was released on Record Store Day, but originally was released for this tour in Australia. I'm not sure if this is the Record Store Day one or not. They were both on blue vinyl, but I didn't really look into it too much, but love Sonic Youth. I picked up a copy of the Las Vegas Story from Gun Club, and this was an original on Animal Records. Has these really generic white labels. A great psychobilly kind of post-punk, punk music. So this one I was surprised to find, because I actually missed it the first time and I found it the second time I went to the store as a follow-up. It's an original copy of Townes Van Zandt's Flying Shoes, and this was released on the Tomato label. This one just has a cutout on the bottom, but overall it's a couple little nicks on the top, but overall really nice record and was fairly cheap, so was happy to pick that one up. Some of the other stuff I have in here is like mixed together, so this is Sonic Sunspot. This was the second record from the Dukes of Stratosphere, who was like a psych project for members of XTC. I have their first record as well, and this one was released on Geffen Records. I don't think one of these I picked up from that store. It's this Quirky Strangeness and Charm. This is the third or fourth, I think it's the fourth Hawkwind record. And this was released on the Charisma label out of the UK. And this is another Hawkwind I picked up from a different store earlier this month. And this is on United Artists. And this is X, In Search of Space. I've seen it on the labels, it says In Search of Space. On the cover it says X, In Search of Space. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's In Search of Space. But this has an insane gatefold, and inside is a logbook and it's kind of like a little newsprint magazine with, you know, lyrics and just pictures and just random bizarre stuff from Hawkwind. So this is a really great space rock record. This is their third record. So no Lemmy on this one. I picked up a copy of this soundtrack for Zabriskie Point. This was a club edition on MGM, and this features tracks from Pink Floyd, the Grateful Dead, the Kaleidoscope, and a couple other people. So great stuff. Let's see what else. Trying to remember what else I have here. Oh yes, Nick Cave. I picked up a copy of Dig Lazarus Dig. This is an original pressing on Anti. Comes with an extra 7-inch. Really great Nick Cave record. Didn't have. I picked up most of the reissues that came out, and this was one that I didn't get, so was happy to pick up an original from that shop. I also picked up, which I was super stoked to pick up, a copy of Music for Pleasure from The Damned, and this is an original, I think, German copy that came on this light blue clear vinyl. Cat's over there hacking up something. I got this Ornette Coleman, Change of the Century. Wasn't familiar with this, but wasn't too expensive. I think I paid like $10 for this one. So on Amazon, did I feel like I've talked about this. Yeah, I did talk about this record in my, maybe it was my, the vinyl tag video, sorry. This was Chris Isaak's Forever Blue. I picked this up from Amazon for like 12 bucks on blue vinyl. I think that was everything I got from that store. A couple other things I didn't show, but I got some other records here from some local shops. The first here is Juicy Lucy, Get a Whiff of This, and it is a original mono white label pressing. And just some standard UK type blues rock. They do a great cover of the Allman Brothers on here. Midnight Rider. It's a super clean copy. I just love the artwork on here, as well as the cover. Here was one I wasn't familiar with, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, but I think it's pronounced D-Hout or D-Hot, and I looked it up. It means the skin. They were a post-punk band out of Germany, and this record features Nick Cave on vocals. It is called Burn in the Ice. and it was released on Illuminated Records in 1983. So this is early Nick Cave stuff. He does vocals on maybe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 songs. I think he does vocals on maybe 5 or 4 of them. So wasn't familiar with. I was glad I found this. Here is another VC staple record. I actually had a gift card for Amazon, and I went to look around to see what I could find, and lo and behold, in the used section, or of records, I found a copy of Pacific Ocean Blue from Dennis Wilson, and this is a nice white label promo copy. Super clean. I never bought used records from Amazon before. This was my first time, so it was a smooth experience, and it was not overgraded or anything, so was super happy to pick this up. So just a couple more records here. I have some more Ornette Coleman records. The first one is the classic This Is Our Music from Ornette Coleman. This is a later 70s repress on Atlantic, but really nice copy. It was reasonably priced. There's one I got, I think, at the end of December, but I haven't shown this. This is Ornette at 12. And this is from Ornette Coleman, and this is on the red Impulse label. Nice copy. So the last couple were kind of not, I wouldn't say grails, but they're nice records that I was happy to pick up. This one, I've shied away from it from a long time just because I was hearing bad things about it, even though I love all his other work. And I found a used copy that wasn't too expensive, so I just picked it up. It's the band How to Destroy Angels, and this is a side project from Trent Reznor and his wife. She does all the vocals. So, I mean, it sounds just like anything later day Nine Inch Nails, but obviously with vocals. So it's very trip hoppy kind of stuff, but it's got a nice gatefold. It's a 2 LP, and I think it was supposed to come with a CD or something. Mine didn't. There's some bonus tracks or something on there, but I was glad I picked this up, and I can't believe I avoided this for so long. This came out in 2013, so How to Destroy Angels, Welcome Oblivion is the name. So I won this in a local auction at the end of December, I think. It is John Lee Hooker's Plays and Sings the Blues, and it's an original mono copy on Chess Records. I think this was the first record on Chess that John Lee Hooker put out. I'm not exactly sure if this, from what, I think Andrew did a video of John Lee Hooker and said that most of the stuff on Chess was previously released on singles or on a different label, so I'm not exactly sure. I believe these have been released before, but this was actually his first LP on Chess Records, and this is a hard to find mono copy on Chess, so was happy that. And here's one I actually just picked up off of Discogs, and I've been really going after mobile Fidelity pressings since I picked up my studio deck from Mobile Fidelity. I just been happy with my setup, so looking for higher quality audio records. So and this one is, you know, kind of a weird one, but it's Countdown to Extinction from Megadeth, and I'm sure there are a lot more songs on here than I remember. I never had this. I think it's only been released on picture discs in the last like 5 to 10 years. So I think there's an original pressing, and this one came out in 2007. Was probably limited to like 3,000 or, you know, something like that, and it's kind of pricey, but it sounds really great. It's a Gain 2 Ultra analog from Mobile Fidelity, and it's on 2 records, and this features their hit Symphony of Destruction, Sweating Bullets, and Skin of My Teeth I hear all the time on Ozzy's Boneyard on XM radio. But I think one of my favorite songs on here also is High Speed Dirt. So really great artwork on the back as well. It's a gatefold. So was super happy to pick that up, and I actually have some other Mobile Fidelities I'm going after at the moment, so hopefully I'll be able to show those within the next few months. So I actually have one other, just gonna go grab it here. It's a 45, so sorry about that. Just forgot I wanted to show some of these 45s I got. And I actually picked up 2 pressings because I'm crazy. Last month I picked up 2 pressings of Nirvana's Sliver, Dive it's called. And these were released from Newberry Comics on like a light blue split and clear pink. So I used to have this record. I don't know, either sold it or lost it somewhere, but really great Nirvana 45. Somewhere in here. All right, here's a couple of things. The first one is a split from Mark Lanegan and Karen Dalton. He does a cover of Same Old Man, and her version is on the back. This came out on Light in the Attic Records, so this was on their sale page. I think it was maybe like $5 or something, so I picked that up earlier in December. I don't think I showed that. And I actually wanted to show this or mention it a few times, but I just keep forgetting. I got this in the fall, and I wanted to specifically because Vinyl Richie loves this label and shows a lot of their stuff, and it is a book, but if you ordered the special edition you got a 45 with it, and it is called Triax Noise, and this features punk photos from bands from Austin, Texas by a photographer called Bill Daniels, or Bill Daniel. And he came through Pittsburgh a few years ago. I don't remember exactly when, but I actually picked up an amazing 11 by 17 Misfits print from him that's in the book. And the thing is that when I pre-ordered this, I had no idea, but it showed up, and it actually came with a huge poster of the same signed print I have, and this is of Glenn Danzig from the Misfits from an Austin show. And I love the book because there's, you know, old school skateboarding, and pictures of, you know, punk bands I like, the Dicks and the Big Boys especially, and Black Flag, and just skateboarding, and just, you know, Minor Threat, and just random punk stuff. Really nice book. You should definitely pick it up. I don't know if I recommend getting the deluxe just to get the 45, but the 45 that it came with is, it's a split between the Big Boys and the Butthole Surfers, and they're both live tracks on, so it's not essential stuff. Anyways, this was released on the Radio Raheem label, and this came out last fall, so I'm not even sure if it's still available. I'm sure the book itself is. If you're into photography and whatnot, you should definitely check it out. It's Triax Noise from Bill Daniel, and it's on Radio Raheem Records. And the last 45 I wanted to show here, I was at a local shop that I frequent basically every week or every other week, and somebody was spinning some records on, you know, checking out a stack of new records, and I recognized the, you know, the vocals on the track, but I didn't exactly know the track that was playing. So as I was checking out, I saw the guy had a stack of records on the counter, and I noticed the name on it, and I said, "Are you going to get that?" He's like, "Well, there's 2 copies, one's cracked," or, you know, something to that effect. And I was like, "Well, I'll take this if you don't want it," not knowing the price or basically anything about it. My guy at the local store, you know, gives me great deals on stuff, so he checked it out and gave me a great price. And it's actually an original single from Baby Huey and the Babysitters, and this is Monkey Man with Messin' with the Kid on the back. And this was released on Satellite Records, I believe in the late 60s. So this is, Monkey Man is a complete, like, total club banger. If I was a DJ, I'd be playing this song all the time. This wasn't on the LP from Record Store Day, so I was super happy to pick this up. And now, unfortunately, I feel like I need to pick up any other. I think there's a few more Baby Huey records that I don't have, so I'm afraid I'm gonna go after those as well. But was really happy to pick this up on 45, and I think that'll do it. So thanks for watching. See you next month.